What's happening? What's happening, people? How we doing? How we doing? It is a Monday. Just got finished with baseball practice on tonight, and I left a little early because I did say I wanted to try to hit this 8:00 mark. 8:30 mark. Sorry, I definitely wanted to hit this 8:30 mark on tonight because a lot has been going on, and we've been missing it. A lot of stuff has been happening, and we've been missing it. A lot of stuff has been going down, and we've been missing it. But how we doing, fam? How we doing? I missed you all too. Just to let you know right now before we get started. Missed each and every one of you. I had a very busy day today, man. It's been. I was up at 8 and was out the door, and I've been pretty much running since 8:00. Since 8:00 on today. But anyway, yeah, man, like I said, it's been a crazy week, right? Crazy week. It was a crazy weekend, my understanding. I was going to go to the Democratic convention because I wanted to see the crowd. I wanted to see if any black folks had shown up or was going there, or if we were going to do like we always do, basically is tune everything in. Because, you know, here's the funny part. Right? If you really think about this thing, funny part when it comes to voting, and they talk about voting and black people voting, and everybody's crying foul about what's going on in the South and all this here type of stuff. I mean, you know, and then it's always that, black folks are the voting bloc of the Democratic. We don't even really show up to vote anymore, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know. If we had to be flat out, look at Louisiana. Let's take Louisiana, for example. Louisiana, if all the black people in Louisiana was to decide, you know what, we're going to go vote in one block, they could run that state. Black folk, look at Atlanta. South Carolina, they could give South Carolina a hard run. But we don't get here in Minnesota. Let's look at here in Minnesota. Black folks ain't voting like that. Black folks, they've got. Let me show you. Let me show you something, because everybody always get mad. See, funny part about this thing is, when I start telling the truth, everybody get mad at me. I got in trouble today, right? I got in trouble today. Somebody tried to hang something on my head today, and they was a flat out liar. And I always tell people point blank, you know, I'm easy to get to. I mean, let me know where you want to meet me. I have no problem with it. I know people sit there and go, but you're a reverend and you're supposed to be. Look, I'm straight street. I grew up on the street. When I was called by God to come and preach the word, He knew who I was. I ain't changed. Now, everybody wants me to change. Everybody wants me to be different. But that's the problem that I see in a lot of what's going on today. Y'all believing in some of these preachers and some of these pastors. And then when the preachers and pastors disappoint you, you act surprised. Because that's who you want. You want them to be something that, honestly, no. You can say what you want. I've been in rooms with preachers and pastors, and I sit there, they shock me sometimes, because they act one way in front of you, and the minute they get behind closed doors, all hell breaks loose. Y'all don't see that part until something bad comes out, right? Y'all know Eddie Long. Look at Eddie Long. If y'all listen to me. So Eddie Long was this black pastor. Look him up. I need you to look this up, because when I tell you guys things, I only talk about what I can tell you to look up, what I can prove to you. You don't hear me on this platform giving you a bunch of crap that's a maybe or it could be. I don't do that. But we had a black pastor. His name was Eddie Long. And Eddie Long was bad. But he ran one of the biggest churches in Georgia that you ever wanted. He was like what's his face? What's that dude out of Dallas? Why am I TD Jakes. He was just as big as TD Jakes. But look up Pastor, Deacon, whatever you want to call him, Bishop Eddie Long. And you'll understand what I'm saying. Jimmy Swaggart. Right? Y'all put too much into these people to the point that they have to be fake to you. These preachers have to be fake to you. And then that's when you get behind them. That's when you will believe them. That's when you'll send them money. But you get somebody who's going to be like, oh, no, this is me, period. I ain't changed. Every now and then you're going to get, no, I didn't say every. I said every. Now and then. That's country. I go back to the streets. I do. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. You start acting up on me and watch me have a good time with you. That's why it cracks me up when I get my trolls on Twitter. And they come in and they thinking one thing and they get something else. And what's the first thing they do? Oh, well, you're supposed to be a man of God. You're not supposed to be that. Better get away from me. The same rock you throw at me, I'm throwing the same rock back at you. I have no problem with it. And if you pick up a brick, that same brick is going to come. Y'all need to stop acting like people are perfect. You need to cut it out. Seriously. Cut it out. Stop it. Because none of them. Think about all the stuff that happened in the Catholic Church and those popes who hid all of that stuff. Yeah, they did that. That's why it almost went broke. Did that not happen? I'm not telling you something you can't look up yourself. But y'all can't be running around here. Y'all got to stop it. Same with these politicians. Y'all got to stop acting like these politicians are perfect, that they don't make mistakes, because they do. All of them do. I ain't rode around in a car with a bottle with a whiskey bottle in the back of my car in the baby seat. I ain't never did that. I'm just saying. Look it up yourself. Don't get mad at me. I'm saying what's out there. I'm saying what's out there. So watch this here. This is what's funny to me. This is what's funny to me. Don't get mad at me, but I need you to stop for a second. No, I need you to come out your bubble for tonight, because we're gonna be dealing with some stuff tonight. But I need you to come out your bubble. I know how y'all work. I'm not stupid. I didn't wake up yesterday. Come out your bubble for a minute. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Trust me, nothing's going to hurt you. Nothing I say is going to hurt you. You can come out of that little bubble. You can go back in there when we're done. Dude got mad at me the other day. Dude went off on me. Called me everything but orange. Because I said I don't push an agenda for a party. Y'all ain't never heard me on here telling you to vote for Democrat. You have never heard me on here telling you vote for a Republican, ever. You have never heard me on here saying that I'm MAGA or I'm Antifa, whatever you call them boneheads that run around tearing crap up. Ain't never heard me say that. I'm me, period. If I like a Republican, then I'll like a Republican. If I like a Democrat, I'll like a Democrat. But there's reasons why I like them. A lot of a lot of you can tell me why you hate somebody, but you can't really tell me why you really honestly like this person. You can't, really, at the end of the day. So today I'm sitting there on a corner right there on Broadway and Lindale. That's where I was at. I almost started my day there today, right? And we were talking about the what happened. Believe it or not, we were actually talking about the Republican convention. You know, and they really hear that much us talking about Republicans in North Minneapolis. That doesn't happen much. But I want you to think about something for a second. Think about this. Before you get all bent out of shape and upset at me and want to get on my Twitter page and call me names, I want you to think about something. Okay? And I can say this because when Scott Jensen, a Republican, ran for governor, I was behind Scott Jensen, correct? I mean, I worked with Scott Jensen and his team and Matt Burke. Like I said, I had Matt Burke in my car. We drove around North Minneapolis on several occasions. Scott Jensen came to my church on several occasions. I was rooting for a Republican. Yes, I was. I did. Voted for a Republican. And when Scott Jensen got the Republican endorsement, everybody got behind Scott Jensen. They did. All the Republicans got behind him, and everybody was like, yeah, let's go. We got our guy. This is it. But isn't it funny? Think about this for a second. I'm going to say it, then I'm going to give you a second to think about this. And then I'm going to show you. But isn't it funny that the minute that a black man gets the endorsement in the Republican Party, no one wants to abide by the endorsement? Lisa is still running. Matter of fact, Mike Landale just announced who his VP is. They was like, we're going to endorse this black man, but we don't give a damn. That's exactly what happened. The first black man that's been endorsed for anything major in the Republican Party, nobody wants to give this black man the respect and say, let's get behind him. No, think about it for a second. Think about it. Think about what I just said. A black man gets the endorsement. In the Republican Party, and no one wants to give this black man any respect to say, let's fall back and let's get behind this black man that we endorsed. That happened. That happened. Dude says to me, well, the Republicans made history. I said, how was that? He said, well, they endorsed a black man. See, I don't really think, can I give you my 2 cents on this endorsement of Kendall Qualls? Can I give you my 2 cents? Seriously? This isn't about really getting behind Kendall Qualls. The Republicans are trying something new. Let's put the black man up there and let's see what happens. Then we can sit here and say here in Minnesota, we're not racist. But the black people know what a house Negro looked like. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, a house Negro will completely drop his identity and who he is as a black man, as a black person. See, in order to be A.K. Kamara, hold on, let me show you. If you don't know who A.K. Kamara is, look him up. You talking about a black man who has literally taken his identity. That man hates it. I doubt if he got mirrors in his house. No, I'm just saying, because there are black people, seriously, there are black people who do not like what they look like. They hate what they look like. They hate it. They will what's that? Assimilate. That's the new Republican word that the Republicans want everybody to be. Assimilate. In order for me, and that's why a lot of Republicans don't like me, because I'm not going to drop who I am I'm a black man. I'm black and I'm proud to be black. Every single morning, I wake up and I look in the mirror. I say, I'm a black man. There's no if, there's no ands about it. Jane Brown said loud, I'm black and I'm proud. I would not. There is no way that you're going to make me believe that I love me. Boy, I love me some me. I love everything about me. There are black people who who hate what they look like because they want to assimilate so bad with whiteness. They will dog and and AK is good at it. AK will put black people down like that. He's John Justice little puppy. That's why I told John Justice. I point blank, I told John Justice, I don't ever want to hear you talking about black folks. Because you ain't never done nothing for black people. You ain't never been around black people. We don't include AK and Walter. So don't sit there and go, well, I'm around AK and Walter. We don't, no, brother. But AK go over there to John Justice show, and John Justice sticks his hand up his ass and make him say stupid things. AK is the reason John Justice can say bad things about black folks. Because AK will run over there and say, yes, sir, massa. We sick, massa. Our house is on fire, massa. Kendall Qualls is put out for show. Y'all know that as well as I do. Because if he become governor, it's not going to be Kendall Qualls running this thing. It's going to be the people who have their hands up Kendall Qualls' ass. Let's be real about this thing. See, y'all don't want to be real. Y'all want me to be fake, and I can't do it. I got to tell you the realness. Because if that was so, if it was going to be Kendall Qualls' show, you know what she would have done? You know what they would have done? They would have, everybody, the minute that man was endorsed, Lisa, Ryan Wilson, Mr. Knight, Mike Lindell, and every other person that was on that stage would have stood on that stage that night and said, we will get behind Kendall Qualls 110%. They didn't do that. They said, screw you, Kendall. And they're saying basically now, screw the endorsement. It's not that important. It doesn't mean the same thing to you, black man, as it would to a white man. That's a fact. You can get mad. You can get upset if you want. But that's the damn truth. And you know that as well as I do. You don't want to see the truth because you're in this bubble. Come out of the bubble and think about what I just said. Why did they not get behind this? When he won the endorsement, why didn't everybody get behind him? Why did they not give him the same respect as they gave every man that came before him? Hello? Why not? Think about it for a second. Like I said, you can get upset, you can get mad. I hate listening to this. I hate listening to this no good blah 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 blah. But he's right. I know I'm right. No, I know I'm right. Period, point blank. And you cannot hold on, put it this way. You cannot prove me wrong in anything that I just said. I guarantee you can't prove me wrong. I guarantee you can't prove me wrong. If the endorsement was as important as they said it is, but when he got the endorsement, a black man in the RNC, why then do they not respect the endorsement like they said it is? They signed, Lisa Damon said before the endorsement, what did she say? I would stand by whomever, you don't have to worry about it. What's happening, James? How you doing tonight, brother? James said two things. His race and also because they are holding out for the primary to see if Trump endorses. Trump's going to endorse Trump. Mike Lindell has Trump's endorsement. Do you know this man lost everything for Donald Trump? Everything. That man business, a $1 million business, a multi-million dollar business. That man let run down the drain for Donald Trump. Donald Trump has to endorse Mike Lindell. He has no choice. This man lost everything for Donald J. Trump. And if y'all don't see this, if you don't see the writing on the wall right now, it's because you don't want to see this stuff. Donald Trump will endorse Mike Lindell. He does not have the choice. This man lost everything. He stood behind Donald Trump even when he was wrong. Even when they was telling this man, no, Mike, you're wrong. That's not correct. That's not true, Mike. You're wrong. He still stood behind Donald Trump. He has never wavered. Ever. You talking about somebody who would have been dead from drinking the Kool-Aid? Mike Lindell wouldn't have asked. Matter of fact, Mike Lindell wouldn't have even had. He would have been like, Trump, I don't need this Kool-Aid. I want straight poison. Straight poison. Yeah, I know it's arsenic. I know what it is, Trump. You don't need to mix it with nothing. Just give me straight. Mike Lindell, give me straight poison. Mike Lindell, he's not like everybody else, right? Mike Lindell is different, man. This dude is different. He's different. Everybody else needs Kool-Aid and their arsenic. Mike Lindell is straight, just shoot it straight in my veins. So Trump Trump has to endorse this man. And if Trump endorsed Mike Lindell, it's over. Because the Republicans, especially the right-wing MAGA, who is running the Republican Party right now, isn't it funny? Hold on, I'll get to that in a second. Remind me to get back to that part. But the right-wing MAGA is running the Republican Party as we speak. Y'all all know it. You know it as well as I do. Oh, yeah? You don't think they are? Watch this. Watch this. The Republican Party and somebody in the Republican Party, and I'm hearing right now that the person who put everybody up to do this is a backer of Kendall Qualls. That's what I'm hearing. I'm just telling you what been coming out on today, because you know me, I ask a lot of questions. So the Republican Party thought it was, and they did this for the MAGA side of their base. The hate. So don't sit here and when I say hate, how the Republicans hate, don't sit here and go, "Oh, Rev, you're wrong." No, I'm not. Get out of here. The hate side of the Republican Party. This is why I always say, do not say that we have conservatives in the state of Minnesota. Except for one. That would be me. The rest of them are Republicans. And then you got your far right Republicans. There's no Republicans. There's no conservatives. No, there's not. Now, the Republicans tried to bring the party back to the middle somewhat. They tried. They went and got who? Michelle Tafoya. That's why they got Michelle. Because they thought if we bring Michelle in and run her, we would get some of those middle-of-the-road Democrats who are sick and tired of some of the crap that the Democrats are pulling. Right? So Michelle was supposed to be the middle of the road. But what did they do? Oh, no, we don't want that. We want to stay as far out there nutty, and they get you Adam, and you got that Adam dude. Right? You got that should show you right now what I'm saying is definitely true. Because if what I'm saying is definitely true, Michelle Tafoya, who is somewhat in the middle, even though she's kind of, she does anyway. But Michelle Tafoya was supposed to be the middle of the road. But the base was like, no, we want to stay crazy. We want to stay stupid. We want to stay ignorant. And we want to stay as racist as we possibly can. So why don't we have a moment of silence for Derek Chauvin? Why a moment? Why not 9 minutes and 29 seconds? What? Well, no. Forget the moment. Do the full 9 minutes and 29 seconds. If you no. Go full racist. Go full on the racist. Go full on that hate. 9 minutes and 29 seconds is what you should have done. But because you're cowards, you only did a moment. And if Kendall Qualls and Lisa Demuth, if they were in that room when that happened, now I know A.K. Kamara, he was probably in that room and he was smiling. That made A.K. feel good. I'm sure it did. But if I find out that Kendall Qualls and Lisa Demuth was in that room and they have not made a statement, I'm going through Minneapolis talking about them. They will never be able to come into the black community. It will not happen. Trust me. Trust me when I say I can make noise. I can make noise, and I will make the loudest. If I find out that Kendall Qualls and Lisa DeMoss was in that room when they took that moment of silence and Kendall didn't say nothing and Lisa didn't say anything, y'all about to see some stuff. Watch. See, all these here white radio shows and white programs, they keep me off the air because they don't want you to know the truth. No, that's exactly what it is. Dude, I was just talking to the dude, right? A couple of weeks ago. Dude was talking about Garage Logic. Oh, Rev, that's why they don't want you. No, they don't want me on Garage Logic is because they don't want you to hear the truth. The minute I start telling the truth, what was you guys? A lot of people, some of the people who even follow me was talking, well, that's why they don't have you. No, they don't have me on there because they don't want the truth. They don't want you to hear the truth. They don't want you to know the truth. They want to be able to lie to you. Garage Logic had this black woman running around here talking about CRT. Did they not? And I'm the one that kept saying, was fighting, go, she's lying. She's telling a flat out lie. Where is it? She could never tell you what it is. But Joe Shushire and them boys let this woman get on their airwaves and lie to you. But the minute I start telling the truth, everybody, well, he shouldn't be on your airwaves anymore. Oh, I get it. And they bought into it hook, line, and sinker. Because you ain't never seen me back on there, right? Now think about it. You have never seen me back on there. Why? Because their audience do not want the truth. They want to be lied to. This is what I want to hear. It's just like John Justice. When John Justice and his co-guy, that's the one I got along with. So the first time I was ever on that show, before it was just John's show, I was on their show. But I went there because of the guy who passed away. Right? I shake John Justice's hands to leave. I always knew that was a snake. No, trust me, when I say I can tell by the way someone shakes my hand. Right? If you shake my hand, and you know how you shake a man's hands, and you give a man a strong handshake, correct? You know how to give a man. I shake John Justice's hand, nothing. I knew right then and there that was a snake. I knew, and then once his friend died, you ain't never seen me back on that show. Because John Justice lies. He does, and y'all buy it and you believe it. And I'd be damned if he's going to bring me on to tell the truth. So what did he do? He go get this house Negro who don't know who he is, who don't like himself. He brings this house Negro on there, and the house Negro okays all the crap that he says. But the endorsement, think about it for a second. Why are they not honoring the endorsement? You would think that this would be time to let balloons go, pop them little get-ups, everybody have a party. A black man was endorsed by hold on. Have we ever had someone that high of an office in the Democratic Party that's black, that's been no. But here in Minnesota, you would think that would be time for the Republican Party of Minnesota should be running around patting themselves on the back, screaming and yelling. Look at us. We're not racist. We got this here Negro. We got us a Negro. But they disrespecting this black man. The Republican Party, go figure. Disrespecting this black man by not honoring him being the endorsed candidate. He was endorsed. They voted on this thing. They said, this is the guy we wanted. They could have picked Mike Lindell, but they didn't. They could have picked Phil Parrish, but they didn't. They could have picked a lot, but that's not who they picked. They picked the black man. And now they're telling the black man he can go find a rock and climb up under it because we don't respect you. We don't have nothing for you. And guess what's going to happen? Trump's going to come in. Trump's going to give Mike Lindell the okay. And then the party is going to get behind, guess who? Mike Lindell. And then they're going to push the black man to the side. And then the black woman, she's just going to be, poof, a thing of the past. And the only reason she's House Speaker is because there's no power. Think about this. The Republican Party really have no power. I want them to wait until they get enough seats to have power. Then you put Lisa Dimon as your speaker. Then you give this black woman some power. They won't do that. That's not going to happen. And y'all know that as well as I do. But because there is no power there, let's put Lisa up there so we can say we put, but she's black. But she's not really black. She's a house Negro. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say that, what I need you to do is go to YouTube. Seriously, type in Malcolm X, Field Negro, House Negro, and listen to what Malcolm X says. And you will understand what I say when I say there's a House Negro and I'm a Field Negro, right? I know who I am. I believe in who I am. I love who I am. There's nothing about me I would change iota. I love my culture. I love who I am. Even though there's times I look at my culture and I go, I'll be damned if I'm part of them people. Good or bad, just like being white. I mean, pedophilia. Y'all crazy on that. Come on. Right? Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about, because I can pull up numbers. I'm good at that. Lisa, hi Lisa. How you doing? Lisa said, but those voting machines don't work right. Isn't it? Thank you, Lisa. Segue. I was going to bring that up, Lisa. Isn't it funny how it's always the Republican, Lisa, check this out. Even on their side, there's cheating with voting. Even on their side is cheating. It's always the Republican Party. Somebody's cheating. But yeah, Lisa, like you said, the machines didn't work. No, the machines worked just fine. They worked exactly to where they were supposed to work. They worked exactly the way they were supposed to work. They needed Kendall Qualls to be at the top of the ticket. So now they can sit there and go, look, we not racist. But we know, black folks, know exactly why Kendall Qualls is there. And here's the thing. Peggy Bennett, Representative Peggy Bennett was running to be governor. I was behind Peggy Bennett. That's another Republican. Yes, I was. I'll sit here and say it right now. Peggy Bennett, if Peggy Bennett had got the nomination, I would have voted Republican. I would have voted for Peggy Bennett. Peggy Bennett has been to my church. I have been to Peggy Bennett's office on several occasions, sitting down, talking with Peggy, going over things with Peggy, giving Peggy the 911 on things. Peggy Bennett was my choice. She was. I can tell you that right now. And so, but Rev, I thought you said, now hold on. Hold on. I never said that I would have ever voted a straight Republican ticket. That just wouldn't have happened for me. It wouldn't have happened because there's things that the Republicans do. But I don't believe that Peggy Bennett, from what she tells me, would have tried her best to bring Donald Trump's policies here to Minnesota. Do we need a change? We do. Do we need things done different? We do. But do we need anything from Donald Trump? Not a damn thing. Not a damn. And Peggy Bennett, but Kendall Qualls said that, he would back Donald Trump. So that already eliminates Kendall Qualls from the black vote. Kendall Qualls will not get the black vote. I promise you that. I promise you that. Kendall Qualls will not get the people of color vote. I promise you that. And if the Democrats, if the Republicans think that they're going to do like they always do, like the white vote can carry Minnesota, you're out your damn mind. And y'all know it. You know it. You know it. It's just not going to happen. The white vote will never carry the state of Minnesota. All of that land, and this is what cracks me up too, right? This is what cracks me up. Is when they put up that map of Minnesota and then they show how red the map is. Land don't vote. All of that land that's red in those areas, that's not where you get your that land don't vote. It just don't. It don't. You know how much land it takes to wipe out the vote in Rochester? Half of Minnesota. You know how much land it takes to wipe out the vote in Duluth? The other half of Minnesota. And don't let me throw in the Twin Cities. Then it's over. It's over. So it's funny to me. Dusty liked to do that. Dusty Grange, which if I was the Republican, that's one of the Republicans' problems. If I was the Republican Party, I would tell Dusty Grange, don't ever mention us. Don't ever mention us. Y'all are ignorant. This is the ignorant part of the Republican Party, to let somebody like that have your mouthpiece. But he likes to throw that map out there. But that map is land. It's not people. And y'all know that. You know that. So again, you can get mad at me if you want, but any day, anytime somebody wants to dispute anything that I say, I'll put you right there. I'll give you a whole hour. You can say whatever you want to say. I'll shut my mouth. But I always say, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But Trump is going to endorse Mike Lindell. He has to. He don't have a choice. This man gave up his life for Donald Trump. That's why Mike is going forward. That's why Mike was like, who do I need for a lieutenant governor? He picks Phil Knight Parrish, or whatever his name. Picked him today. Told Kendall, screw you and screw your endorsement, black man. Y'all know I'm right. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. You know it. But then, like I said, the Republicans screwed up. So let me break this down one more time. One more time. For all the Republicans out there. Derek Chauvin was the guy. I know y'all like to make this about George Floyd. And one of the things that cracks me up about Republicans and white people when they get triggered by George Floyd? What's the first thing you do? You remind us, you go off of that little film that Lisa, what's her face? Liz Collins. The little film that Liz Collins put together, The Fall of Minneapolis, right? Now think about this. If you've seen it, and I'm sure many of you white folks have seen it, I'm sure many of you white folks have seen it because you swear by it. But let's take just the first few minutes of that show, of that film, of that little documentary or whatever you want to call it. What's the first thing that happens? What's the first thing that they did? What is the first thing Liz Collins did in Alpha News when they put that together? Yeah? No, and I want you to go watch it and you tell me if I'm wrong. The first thing they did, for those who did not know who George Floyd was, they made sure they dirtied this man up. They told you everything bad about George Floyd. You know why they did that? Because they know if they pull at the heartstrings of white folks, y'all get mad real easy when it comes to black people. No? Watch this. There's a movie that's called Birth of a Nation. Correct? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't sit there and try to act like, oh, no, Rev, because some of you done watched it 4 or 5 damn times. But this movie was put together by a Klansman. And in this movie, there's this white woman. She has to make a decision. Am I going to throw myself over this cliff, or am I going to get raped by this here white man in blackface? Correct? So she throws herself over the cliff. And that pulled at the heartstrings of white folks. Yeah, it did. And Liz Collins knows that. She knows how to get y'all. And that's what she did. She made sure she dirtied up George Floyd. She made sure she pissed y'all off so much when it came to George Floyd that by the end of this little movie, this end of this little documentary, you was lathering at the mouth, and a lot of you was. And y'all know that as well as I do. Why do I say that? But did she tell you what type cop Derek Chauvin was? Did she tell you how much money that Derek Chauvin cost the city way before George Floyd? Did she? No, she didn't. She couldn't do that because she needed you pissed off. She needed you upset. Alpha News needed white folks pissed as all get up. And they knew this little film was going to do it. And y'all fell for it hook, line, and sinker. And there was things in that video that I told y'all about that wasn't true. That's why Liz blocked me. Yes, Liz Collins, a so-called journalist, got upset because I debunked a lot of the stuff that she put in there. Why did I was able to do that? You know why I was able to debunk what she put in there? Because I was there when it was going on. If I'm there and I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and then Liz is trying to tell me something different, and I'm going, that's a lie, because that never happened that way. Why can't I tell my story? But she blocked me. Hold on. The same woman that is married to Bob Crow, who the black community said was part of the Ku Klux Klan, and I went to talk, I went and had a conversation on a platform, on a podcast with Bob Crow to prove that he wasn't. I went and took up for her husband. Wait a second. Not only that, but when Black Lives Matter marched to her house in Hugo, who did they call to pray over the city of Hugo? Who was that? Help me out. Who was that? Who did they call to pray over Liz Collins' house and Bob Crow? Who was that? Who took the hit in the black community for going up and praying at Hugo at the park right here. I ain't never done nothing to this woman. And she blocked me. All because I told the truth on a film that she put together. That's why she blocked me. That's the truth. That's the truth. This is what I'm telling y'all. The problem people have with me is because I'm in the streets. I'm doing this stuff, man. I know what's going on. I talk to that's what I was doing on Broadway today. I was talking to literally gang members. Gang members. That's what I was doing on Broadway and Penn today, this morning. I had a meeting with them. I can tell you things that they can only wish they knew. But they speculate and they give it to you and you believe it. I do this work, people. Yeah, I don't. Then I had to go down to the Capitol where they was having a press conference for all the black men who have been railroaded by the system. That's what we was doing down at the Capitol today. We're dealing with the water at Rush City, at the prison in Rush City. We're trying to get that fixed. Oh, and this coming Saturday at Roseville, I'm going to need you all to go by Roseville because we got our kids are going to be out. These kids have worked hard. These kids that we work with, these little young entrepreneurs, we teaching these kids how to be young entrepreneurs. Well, they're going to be having their product this Saturday at the Roseville Mall. I posted it, the whole thing. We went over. They had to have a business plan. We went over all their business plans and everything. They ready to go. So I'm going to need y'all to go out there on this Saturday to the Roseville Mall and look around and see what these kids got. We got a bunch of kids this year who've done their thing, man, and I need you to go out and support these kids. This is what I do. This is what I do. But I'm going to tell you something else, Minnesota. I got 6 minutes, and then I'm out of here. I get a cheat night, and guess what? I get one Krispy Kreme donut here in a few minutes. One. And I'm slobbering at the mouth right now. Trust me, when they take stuff away from you, y'all have zero clue. When they take stuff, what did he want? When they take stuff away from you, you don't know how. Oh my God! What did I have a few weeks back? I got to have I forgot what it was now. Forget it. But anyway, it was something that I can only have like once a month, if that. Like this Krispy Kreme donut. I haven't had, literally, seriously, it's been probably about 2.5 years since I had a Krispy Kreme donut. And I only get one. Yeah. Anyway. Listen to what I'm about to say. Oh, strawberry lemonade at Wendy's, man. Ugh. That is my downfall, James. That is literally my I tried to make it myself. Yeah. Well, my wife got me the slushie machine. And the only time I get to have a slushie is when the kids come over. But here's the deal. I can only have that much of a slushie. Where before I had my cup was about that big. But anyway, that's beside the point. But I need you guys to listen to me. And I need you guys to hear this. And I know y'all don't care. And you're only going to bitch and complain about it. It's when it's done and they tell you how much money they use of the taxpayers' money to do this. But y'all need to start. No, listen to me. You need to start doing your research on George Floyd Square. Because there's going to be a lot of taxpayers' money. Y'all think the Somalians ripped you off. No, listen to me. Because what they have already done, what they have already pretty much done, is ripping off the taxpayers of Minnesota. But what they're about to do is going to put so much money in people's pocket, it's going to be crazy. And that's going to be your taxpayers' dollars that they're going to use. And because they know that you're not going to get upset. They know you're not going to talk about it. They know you're not going to hear about it or care at all. It's not going to matter where that money's going. And people are going to get rich once they start putting that area back together. Yeah, James, there ain't too much we can do about the ballroom. Like I said, the people already drank the poison. The people drank the poison. I said a couple, I pissed some people off the other day. I said Donald Trump can be walking down the sidewalk and Donald Trump can step on a baby and MAGA will get mad at the baby for crawling under Donald Trump's foot. Those are facts, people. And y'all know that as well as I do. So, James, that ballroom, we was told the taxpayers wouldn't have to pay for it. Just like the wall. We was told we didn't have to pay for the wall. When I go down to Shorts, Texas, my wife's brother lives in Shorts, Texas. I'm going to the border. We're riding to the border. That's where we're going. I want to see how much of the wall is up compared to where it was the last time I was down there in Galveston, Texas. Last time I was down near on the other side of Corpus Christi and all of that type of stuff. Then we're going to go over to Yuma, Arizona. And we're going to, because my dad was stationed in Yuma, Arizona. I lived in, man, I was over in Tijuana, Mexico every single weekend. You go over there and get crazy drunk. And I want to see how much of the wall is done over there also. Yeah, man. The plan of, that's why I'm telling you, James, the plan that they have for George Floyd Square was not the plan that the community wanted done. It's not. It's the plan of Fry and some of the so-called nonprofits over there. And some people, James, is about to be rich off of George Floyd. Listen to me. Taxpayers' dollars is about to make some people rich over on George Floyd Square. Fact. That's a fact. I'm not making that up. I'm not telling you something that you're not going to be able to finally start asking questions. How is a nonprofit getting paid with taxpayer dollar because of George Floyd? Y'all never looked into that. Y'all never thought about it. You know, at all, did you? No, you didn't. But your dollars are about to go in some people's pockets. And the thing about it is the community over there who have been very loud, they don't care. The powers to be over there don't care. We don't get, this is what we're doing. This is what you're getting. And this is a way that we can make as much money off of this square as we possibly can. Like I said before, you can't make me understand how a nonprofit, how it's right for a nonprofit to make money off of putting back a community that was tore up, burned. I'm not going to say burned down, my fault. I know how that triggers people. It wasn't burned down, Rev. You're lying. You're right. It didn't completely burn down. They burnt some stuff. I saw that with my own eyes, so they can't ever sit there and go, oh, nothing was on fire. Dude, I was standing as close to one of the biggest fires I've ever seen in my life when they burnt down the apartment building right there on Lake Street, right across the street from the police station. I've never seen anything like that that was unbelievable. It's the picture of the picture they always use where they got Tim Walz looking backwards, running, and that whole big. I was there in the Target parking lot when that puppy was on a blaze. So that's why I sit there and I say, when y'all look at these documentaries that they put out for you guys, it's just funny to me because you're not there. Yeah, I can understand that you have to believe that stuff because they've already suckered you into it. Like I said, that fall of Minneapolis, they already suckered you at the beginning of this thing. They started off by telling you that George Floyd is the worst thing that ever walked. They make you believe in your heart that Lucifer is better than George Floyd. That Satan is better than George Floyd. That it's better for you to be friends with Michael than George Floyd. That Judas is better than George. That's what Liz Collins and Alpha News. That's how they start this thing off. And then y'all have fallen into, white folks, have fallen into this thing that when you describe George Floyd, the first thing you do is you try to tell us that he was a drug addict. We know that. That's why he was down there on 38th in Chicago. He's a deadbeat dad. We know that. He had kids all over everywhere. We know it. There's nothing new you can say about George Floyd that we didn't already know. And George Floyd is not a martyr to us. He's not. He's just happened to be the guy who got the cops put in jail. I'm going to say it again. And I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. If y'all white folks had a got behind us and said that it was wrong for that cop to shoot into the car, and this lady, his girlfriend, is sitting in the passenger seat, and the 4-year-old girl is sitting in the back seat. I met the 4-year-old girl today. The 4-year-old is 14 years old, who was sitting in the back seat when Philando Castile was murdered. She was 4 years old. I posted a picture of her. I met her today at the Capitol. She was at the Capitol today. First time I ever met her. She was there. She's 14 years old. But y'all said, yes, you did. Hold on. You said in a court, the same court. Hold on. See, this is the part y'all forget. The same court that put Derek Chauvin behind bars is the same court that said that cop that killed Philando Castile was innocent. The same court. So if this cop is innocent through this court, and we all saw him kill this man, Derek Chauvin belongs where? In the prison, because the court said so. Doesn't matter if it's a kangaroo. It doesn't matter if they lied. It doesn't matter if they was afraid that, guess what, they was going to riot. Forget any of that. You said that it was okay to kill this black man through the court system. That's what you said. The same court system that put Derek Chauvin in prison. So don't ever come at me with this Derek Chauvin should be released. Y'all can kiss all of the brownness around my backside. I mean that. And for these here racist Republicans who decided to take a moment of silence for Derek Chauvin, you should have took 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Because that's how long Derek Chauvin was on this man's neck or back. I don't care which one. The problem was Derek Chauvin sat on that man's back with no compassion because he realized and he knew in his heart that the blue line would get him off. But isn't it funny how all of a sudden we don't back the blue when the blue is the one who sat in court and said, nope, what he did was wrong. The blue said that. Did they not? But it's funny how we don't never hear about that. It's always George this, George that. But yet, guess who told on one of their own? The very people that you love when it's black. Because Philando Castile was murdered. And you gave that cop the okay to do that. Yeah, you did. Right here in the state of Minnesota. Yeah, you did. It happened. Philando Castile was the guy. But the powers to be got in front of everybody. This is what happened. And said, let's let the system work. Finally. Because this was blatant. This was in our face. This was an ice cold murder. They said, just stand back. What did Trump tell the Proud Boys? Sit down and stand back or whatever. That's what they told everybody when it came to Philando Castile's murder. And everybody knew. Swear up and down. This time. This is what we were saying. This time. We got him. And y'all said, no. And y'all let this man off. And that is what lit the fuse. So when Derek Chauvin decided that he was going to stay on this man handcuffed, not moving, when Derek Chauvin decided he wasn't going to check to see if this man was dead, when Derek Chauvin decided that he looked cool standing there for the pictures, when Derek Chauvin decided that no matter what anybody says, I'm staying right here. So y'all can keep telling us that George Floyd was a druggie, he was a drug dealer, he was a bad father, he was this and that, and he was worse. Y'all can keep saying that. We don't care. Because what you don't understand is just this wasn't about. If y'all would have came out there and listened to them read all the names, the Sandra Blands, to Jamar Clark, all those names that they read on that piece of paper of people who died by the hands of cops, Terrence Crutcher, when you're listening to them, Tamir Rice, y'all let George Floyd, I mean, not George Floyd, George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman was the whitest Mexican ever in the state of the United States. Why? Because he killed a black teen. They said, well, he had a right to stand his ground. But wait a second for a second. Lisa, I'm going to read that, Lisa. But they told George Zimmerman, we don't need you to go after him. If George Zimmerman would have stopped, Trayvon Martin wouldn't have died. So are you telling me that a kid coming from a store, doing nothing to nobody, being followed by this dude, is not going to get scared and upset? And watch this here. We don't really know if George Zimmerman ran up to him and caught him. We don't know that. We don't know what happened. We don't know how George Zimmerman got from point A to point B. We don't know if George tried to grab him. We don't know if George yelled at it. We don't know what George did to startle this kid, to make this kid fight. But y'all said it was okay for George Zimmerman, and y'all celebrated this man, to kill this kid. Yeah, you did. So when Derek Chauvin sat there for 9 minutes and 29 seconds, Derek did that to himself. Doesn't matter how much fentanyl was in his system. It doesn't matter how many times he said he couldn't breathe. It doesn't matter how many guns that was poked in pregnant women's stomach. It doesn't matter if he kicked in a door. It doesn't matter how many times he dealt drugs. It doesn't matter how many counterfeits he had. It doesn't matter if he was the dirtiest person that ever walked the face of the earth. It doesn't matter if him and the devil walked the streets every single day hand in hand. That didn't matter. It doesn't matter. Derek Chauvin touched him while he was not breathing. Those are the facts. Those are the facts. And because of that, because of the Ahmaud Arbery, because of him, and when they shot this man, and they literally was going to let them three white men go bye-bye, go home and go to sleep and live their life for killing that black man, Derek Chauvin had to go to jail. He went to jail for every name. That's why they read the names at George Floyd Square when they are celebrating his death. There's a reason. And if you was to go down there and listen to what they say, you will understand what I just told you. It's not about George Floyd. He just happened to be the guy that finally put cops in jail. That's it. That's why when y'all go off on this tangent and try to dirty George up, when you try to do what Liz Collins did to get you all upset, that's why we don't pay attention to you. That's why black people just keep walking. That's why I put the laughing emojis under anybody who does that to George Floyd. We don't care. We know who he was. You don't have to tell us. I can tell you who he was. He was a drug addict. He was a drug dealer. He gave drugs and sold drugs to people that could hurt them. He was a bad, bad man. He was a deadbeat dad. He was the foulest of the foul. That's who he was. But for every name that has been read at George Floyd Square, Derek Chauvin had to pay the price. Those are facts, people. Those are facts. And like I said, had that cop went to jail for Philando Castile, I don't believe Derek Chauvin and those cops would have went to jail. Because, again, we knew what he was down there for. We know what was going on down there. We knew it was a bad area to be. And the only reason you're going down there and be in that area, because he was doing bad things. But they killed a good guy who worked in a cafeteria. They killed a man who had the right to carry his firearm. They killed a man who had his wife, his girlfriend, and his baby in the back seat. So y'all going to sit there and try to make us believe that this black man was going to have a shootout. Think about this for a second. You got a cop on your right side. You got a cop on your left side. And this black man was going to have a shootout in his car while his girlfriend was in the passenger seat and his baby was in the back seat. Are you serious? He was going to have a shootout with the police officer. The police was so afraid of this black man with this gun that he shot into a car with the 4-year-old baby in the back seat and his girl. He murdered this kid. He murdered him. And y'all let him off. Derek Chauvin will stay in prison for that very reason. Period, point blank. You can get mad all you want. You can get pissed off. You can get upset. I don't care. You can block me. You can unfollow me. But Derek Chauvin will never see daylight before the time he gets up. He gets out. Never. That's how deep in my, when y'all murdered Philando Castile, I mean, I was afraid to carry. I literally, my wife was like, "You're not carrying. You will not carry a firearm out this house." All my black friends who got guns that I go shoot with, put them guns away. I'm not carrying this no more. And I think that was part of what we want black folks to continuously be afraid of firearms, scared to tell people they got fire, scared to. I did not carry my firearm for a long time because I'm like, if I was to tell a cop that I got a gun, and because I'm a black man, he shoot me. So I stopped carrying my firearm for that very reason. That's not right. That will never happen to a white man. And you know that as well as I do. That would never happen to a white man. So I'm passionate about this. I'm great passionate about this. Because Philando Castile did not have to die. He did not have to die. And that cop who murdered him had no business being on the street. Same thing with Kim Potter. I don't believe Kim Potter would have went to jail. But Kim Potter had to go to jail. She had to go to jail. Yeah, I get it. I was the first one to sit there and go, well, the Negro shouldn't have been running. The Negro, he shouldn't have tried to get away from her. I said that. But at the end of the day, she went to jail because of Philando Castile. Period. Those facts. I had to get people, well, he shouldn't have tried to get back in the car. You're right. I agree. I 110% agree with you. Under pressure, she panicked. She did. She made a mistake. Yes, she did. She made a mistake. She made a mistake. I agree with you. I do. But because so many other cops got off, she had to go to jail. She went to jail. Same thing with Officer Noor. A lot of people say that. We sit in the barbershop. That woman should have never came out the home. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. What are you coming outside for? You don't come outside. And you damn sure don't slap the back of a police car when you come outside. Should have never been outside. She should have waited and let the police come to her door like normal people do. But she came outside. After she told somebody was being, and he shot her. He had to go to jail. I was right there with Black Lives Matter. When her parents was marching with Black Lives Matter. I was right there. See, that's what's funny to me. That when Black Lives Matter was marching for the white woman, nobody talked bad about Black Lives Matter. When Justine Diamond's family went and met with Black Lives Matter to put together the first protest for her, nobody said a word about Black Lives Matter. Nobody. When Black Lives Matter marched the second time with her family, when Black Lives Matter spoke at her memorial or balloon release and everything, Black Lives Matter did. When they put that together, nobody cared about Black Lives Matter as long as they was doing that for that white woman. But don't let Black Lives Matter do something for black folks. Then we got a problem. But Black Lives Matter got that lady, that family, $20 million, the largest settlement ever paid off. Yeah, they did. Black Lives Matter did that. That's why her family went to Black Lives Matter to put together, listen to me, to put together the first protest. That's who did it. Y'all didn't know that because, you'll be watching Alpha News too much to hate black folks and what black folks do. But where did that go? Oh, so Lisa says, I decided that the moment of silence was for the plight of poor Mr. Chauvin having to eat poison slop. I feel bad for him. I do. Don't get me wrong, but he did it to himself. Had he got up and rolled that man over, that's it. That's all he had to do. But he didn't do that. He looked to the blue line to get him off. And sorry, that blue line went in and said that he was guilty. So when y'all start talking about Derek Chauvin, and here's another thing. So let's do this here. If Derek Chauvin was railroaded, right? I mean, that's what everybody's saying, that he should get a new trial. Should every black man that's in Rush City right now get a new trial? Because they went to prison under the same system that Derek Chauvin went up. So are they not guilty also? See, Republicans are idiots. Let's call it what it is. If one side is guilty, the other side is guilty. If one side is innocent, the other side is innocent. But y'all don't see it that way. You like to pick and choose. So you held a moment of silence. Why don't you hold a moment of silence for every black man that the cops have brutalized and beat up and knocked down and then lied on them and then put them in prison? And they've been there for like 20 years. A black man that just got out of prison was in there for 19 and a half years. Come to find out, the cops lied on him. They lied. So if the cops lied on Derek, let's leave him in there for 20 years, and then we let him out. Simple. Simple. Anyway, folks, that's it for me, man. I am done. I am in North Dakota. I'll be in South Dakota. Sorry. Fargo. Matter of fact, we're going to Fargo. We got a baseball tournament out there. So I'll be out there. Then tomorrow we got practice. We got a game Wednesday. And then Thursday is soccer. My other grandson. I got to go to his soccer thing. So I will probably not be with Ann. So I won't be with Don. But I would need you to watch Don Allen, Black News. So if you'll get up at 9:30, which I'm still going to have to talk to Don about that time. But if you get up at 9:30 and tune in, they're going to have the lawyer. Oh, yeah. Hold on. You may want to watch this because the lawyer, so the business guy we had on a couple of weeks ago, his lawyer is going to be on with Don for George Floyd Square. The lawyer who is suing the city and suing Mayor Fry and everybody for George Floyd Square because of the way they're doing that money will be on with Don Allen this Saturday. So y'all got to tune in for that. You got to tune in for that. See, this is some stuff that y'all not going to get from anywhere else. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thank you, James. Thank you, Lisa, for hanging out with us tonight. I definitely appreciate you two. Thank you much. I hope I didn't say too much to piss you all off, but I know how that works. But it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. So y'all can go crawl back in your bubble. I'll give you time. I'll give you time to get back in your bubble because I think I covered everything. Yes, I did. But we're gonna be all right. But one day we're gonna get to the point that where we don't need these parties. We don't need the Democratic Party, and we don't need the Republican Party. Period. Point blank. It would be cool if we all was to find an independent person who sees things from both sides. You understand what I'm saying? We used to find somebody like that, and we all got behind them and ran them. We could tear the establishment down. We could tear the establishment down. But because we like to fight each other, we like to. Oh, what was this here? Oh yeah, Clint Connors. I got to get back with him. Even he's talking. Even Clinton's talking about. Even Clinton's talking about the y'all think because a lot of people don't realize how big this is. A lot of people don't realize how big this is. It really is huge, right? A lot of people don't realize how big that is. It really is huge. A lot of people, and I know y'all just look at it and go, "Oh, it's no big deal, Rev." No, trust me when I say this. It's a big deal. The Republican Party, this is what, when we say that they're racist, this is what we mean. So if you want an example, I always say, Rev, that's not true. What's your example? This is the example. They knew what they were doing, and they did it for a reason. Period. You can get mad at me if you want. That's cool. Get mad at me if you want. That's cool. But I'm telling you, I'm being flat out with you. I'm being honest with you, and I'm being true. that moment of silence that the Republican Party did, and if I found out that Lisa DeMott and Kendall Qualls was in that room during that moment of silence, y'all get ready. Y'all get ready. So I'm going to be asking the question, where were they? I need to know where Lisa was, and I need to know where Kendall Qualls was during that moment of silence. If you went, I heard it and I immediately thought I never heard what I heard it and I immediately thought, right? I need to know if you was a Republican or you know a Republican that was at that convention. Here's what I need, because y'all usually you guys are really good at this stuff. When I ask for something, boom, y'all kick it out. I need to know if Kendall Qualls and Lisa DeMott, I need to know if those two were in that room when they announced and did a moment of silence for Derek Chauvin. I need to know. I need to know. I need somebody to find out for me. Dig, and dig. But find out if they were in that room. Because if they was, and they haven't put out a statement yet, fair warning. I'm going to be the worst thing. I'm going to be a tick. As my grandfather always say, if you keep it up, I'm going to be a tick on your ass. Now, how hard it is to get a tick off your ass, you're going to see. Hey, fam, I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good one, and I'll try to be back next Monday. That's if things ain't, well, no, I can't, because I ain't gonna be able to get down here. So if anything, I'll use my phone if it's that important. But anyway, fam, always realize and understand that we serve honestly an awesome God, a God that will do everything for you. Only thing you have to do is turn over your heart, mind, your spirit, and your soul. And I'm going to tell you, at beginning, it's hard. It really is. I'm not going to lie to you. The hardest thing I ever had to do was stop doing bad stuff. Did y'all just get what I just said? The hardest thing that I ever had to do was to stop doing bad stuff. That's a fact. That was hard. But you know what? I found that this God that shows compassion and mercy, when you stop doing bad stuff, good things start happening to you. God start putting good people in your life. You start, just like James said earlier today. God has put good people. He sent me some duds to test me, but God has put some good people in my life. He really, honestly, like some of the people that I met today, even though they doing some bad stuff, they're still good people. They really, really are, right? But that God that I was telling you about, no matter what you've done, how you've done it, and who you've done it to, God can turn your life around like you would not believe it. Because like I said, you are looking seriously. 20 years ago, 20 years ago, if you'd have met me, even 15 years ago, if you'd have met me, I wasn't bad. I wasn't good, man. I wasn't. I didn't feel good. I didn't act good. I didn't think good. I wasn't good. But thank be to God, His grace and His mercy. I so appreciate that part. And because He's been good to us, that should put a smile on your face. And you know what we do with those smiles? We go out and we smile at somebody, so somebody smile back at you. Peace, fam. I thank you guys for hanging out. Y'all have a good night. I'm gone. Bye.